This is the University of Tampa. Explore your dreams, discover your talents. Get ready to invent, innovate, and be a leader. This is the University of Tampa.
Okay. Okay. Good afternoon and welcome to the Nemoli Family Stadium. This afternoon, the Tampa Spartans get a head start on the 2023 season when they take on the Ursuline Arrows. I'm Bruce Wozniak here to call the action for you alongside Chris LeCastro in a doubleheader to open up the 2023 season.
Hi, everybody. I'm Chris LeCastro. I'll be color commentating for today, and we're looking forward to kicking off the 2023 Spartan softball season.
And UT, of course, coming off a very exciting 2022 campaign. They finished with a 38-13 one-loss record. And this afternoon they opened against an Ursuline team almost a year to the day after the two played a doubleheader last year on the 6th of February right here in Tampa. Ursuline won that first game 6-2, and then the Spartans won the second game 6-0. Here's the first pitch. And strike one to start the 2023 season for UT starting pitcher Mary Beth Feldman. And we'll be talking about her as the game goes along. A tremendous 2022 campaign that we saw here last year. And the next pitch on the way, and that's ball one. And the leadoff hitter for Ursuline is Giovanna Herrera. Hails from Tucson, Arizona. And now the 1-1 on the way to her. Swings and misses. And 1-2. Looking for the sign from catcher Lexi Chevalier. And there's ball two. And you see the sun all over the field this afternoon as it's 1:04 p.m. and 72 degrees game time temperature as that's followed back to the screen. And the count stays at 2-2. Some wind out there, though, Chris. We'll have to watch and see if that affects play at all. You can see the American flag blowing right to left.
Yes, definitely could take an effect on pop-ups, fly balls, anything, especially with the sun shining on the infield, could make for some difficult plays today.
2-2 is outside for ball three. And it's worth mentioning the Arrows come in already having started the season. They played a doubleheader yesterday. And the next pitch is sent to left field and caught routinely out there for out number one. And just to finish that thought, Ursuline played over in St. Pete yesterday against Eckerd College. And strangely enough, both games finished by a 9-1 score in the doubleheader. So they come into this game 0-2. And now Mary Beth Feldman works. And that one is dropped in for a base hit. The number two hitter for Ursuline gets on base, and that's Casey Barton. And so just like that, they have their first base runner of the game.
Yes, that was a good piece. Just got out in front of it to send it into left field, found a hole, trying to catch the pitcher off guard, being ready to strike on the first pitch.
And now Feldman goes to work against Tara Backherms. So one out here in the top of the first, but a runner aboard for the Arrows. And the next pitch swung on down the left field line, goes foul, and it will be caught for out number two.
Excellent job of tracking that ball into foul territory there.
So that'll bring up Christina Dalton. As Feldman goes to work right away. And strike one. Christina Dalton, a sophomore from Independence, Ohio. Chris, you and I were looking before this game started, and a real diverse lineup for Ursuline in terms of the locations, the hometowns of their roster.
Yes, certainly. Players from Nevada, Arizona, Ohio, Illinois, all over the country coming in to play softball here at Ursuline.
And that one is outside for a ball. And contrary to the Spartans roster, which other than one player from Pennsylvania and one player from New Jersey are all Floridians in terms of the hometown. Next pitch on the way, swung and caught for out number 3. And so the Arrows, no runs. There was 1 hit, no Spartan errors, and 1 runner left on base. And so they do not score as we head to the bottom of the first, and we'll be back on TampaSpartans.tv.
Number 32, Kyle Hornsby. Inside the 30, touchdown. Michaela burns it. Incredible finish by Hall.
The NCAA and its member schools offer nearly 500,000 college athletes a path to go pro in something other than sports. Learn more at ncaa.org/opportunity.
College sports.
There's light at the end of the tunnel.
A return to normal, and all we love about sports.
You've instilled resilience, focus, and selflessness in us. We've put those lessons to work.
We've found strength and unity in each other.
You continue to take us places we never imagined.
You bring out the best in us.
So when we look forward, we see the light at the end of the tunnel.
We see a better world for all of us and for college sports.
Being a champion takes more than skill, more than endless drills, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the heart to give it your all, the agility to thrive from any angle, and the relentless drive to be the best. Welcome to Division II.
And back live here at the Namoli Family Stadium, the Spartans getting ready for their first at-bats of the 2023 season, and starting it off for the home team will be left fielder Lauren Fantone. And Fantone, Chris, we saw make a couple of nice catches out in left field, 2 of the 3 outs in the top of the first.
Yes, she did. She chased one down into foul territory, did an excellent job of tracking that ball and keeping in play for the second out of the inning.
And the first pitch to her is a base hit. And so the Spartans get their first base runner on the first pitch of the season, and they're certainly going to hope that that's a good sign of good things to come.
Yes, definitely some excellent piece of hitting right there, leveled up the ball. Hard hit ground balls into the outfield, that's all really can be the strategy going into the season, just getting the barrel to the ball.
So that'll bring up Lily Keister. And looked like she was going to show bunt there. Some fans still arriving here. And looks like a timeout perhaps being called already as head coach Danielle Largent goes out to speak to her starting pitcher. And now discussion with the umpire.
I believe it seems like it could have been something to do with the pitchers, with the pitcher coming set to pitch, potentially some kind of balk warning of the sort.
Kelsey Jakosh, the starting pitcher for Ursuline this afternoon. And now you see joining the conversation is Tampa coach Leslie Cantor. And things about to resume here. And Jakosh did not pitch in yesterday's doubleheader against Eckerd. So getting her first action of the season.
Looked almost like a pitch out there, keeping an eye on Fantone at first for the potential of a stolen base.
And Keister does bunt this time, fielded nicely and not there in time. And so what conceivably could have been a sacrifice bunt ends up with 2 runners on base for the Spartans, their first 2 hitters of the game.
Yeah, excellent job of laying down that bunt back to the pitcher and still managing to beat that one out at first base, despite the fact that it almost appeared to be a sacrifice.
And that's the importance of running out every batted ball, is you never know what can happen. And in that case, that speed is what enabled her to get the difference between 2 runners on base versus just a sacrifice bunt. Alexa Russo, the batter now for UT. And drops down a bunt as well, although that one goes foul.
Interesting strategy here, bringing up the third hitter to potentially bunt, possibly move the runners over and remove the double play, but also usually Russo hitting third here, the best pure hitter likely in the lineup to be able to put a ball in play and potentially work for some RBIs with a runner in scoring position.
Count is 1-1. Russo shows bunt again. Goes to 1-2.
Now this will put her in a protective stance at the plate.
Next pitch on the way, and Russo looks at that one smartly for a ball. So the count even now. Jakosh has to be very careful here. The Spartans can break this game open early. Wines delivers, and that one swung on and caught at the shoe tops. And no, she's safe. That looked from up here like she made the catch.
Took a short hop just in front of the right fielder's glove to scoop that one up and deliver it to the infield quickly, keeping the runners at bay, but nonetheless, they're starting to work on this pitcher a little bit early in the first inning.
Yeah, you talk about a game of inches because, as I said, the difference between running out your batted balls versus giving up was the difference between runners on first and second versus only at second. And there, a game of inches in terms of the ball bouncing in just the right place. There's one batted, and they'll get the out at second, but a run does score. And
called her safe. She started to come off the base.
Wow.
Looks like everybody was safe. A nice diving play by the second baseman to keep the ball in the infield, but still managed to beat it out. The Spartans are doing a great job of running these balls out.
Ursuline coach Danielle Largent is not happy with that call and is going to plead her case with the umpire. And she's not going to win that, but has to have her voice heard and goes back to her dugout. So the Spartans up 1-0 with nobody out, and the base is loaded.
Timeout called.
And Cameron Wininger is the batter for UT. And that one's up high for a ball. And that one's fouled back to the screen. A local product from Plant City. And trying to add to her team's early lead here. Sends that one out of play.
Well, Jakosh is only up to, I believe, 12 pitches for this inning, but definitely would be looking to get an out fast here and limit the damage in the first inning.
I was going to say she's one strike away from getting the first out, and is going to get an out by way of a fly out to center, the throw home, not on target. And so Lily Keister crosses the plate, and the Spartans go up 2-0.
Productive at bat there, gets the sacrifice, brings in another run.
And that'll bring up Mariah Galehouse, who is a Spartan weapon defensively from the pitching circle. She does pretty well in the outfield as well, and certainly with the bat. And watches that one go by for strike one. Last year, Mariah played in 50 games and had a .294 batting average, 1 home run, 22 RBI. And here she is with her team up 2-0, and sends that one to center field, and nicely caught out there. And another Spartan run will cross the plate, however, as Alexa Russo comes home. Well-struck ball by Galehouse, though.
That ball came off the bat pretty fast. Started to get a little bit of rise. Center fielder tracked it nicely. Almost started to come in on that ball. That could have potentially just kept rising and get over her head, but she was able to reach up, make a nice defensive play.
Yeah, I was going to say, got to give a tip of the cap to Giovanna Herrera for keeping her cool out there in center field and tracking that ball for out number 2. But UT gets another run, and that pitch in the dirt. As the batter now is Lexi Chevalier, the Spartans' veteran catcher. And pops that one foul off the net behind home plate. Chevalier hit .264 last year. She had 1 home run and 18 RBI, 51 games played, and back for another season with the Spartans.
Well, the Spartans are really making her throw some strikes here and ensuring that they only swing at something below within the waist chest area.
And Jakosh, a little bit of control issues here. That one, again, in the dirt as her catcher comes out. Just a quick little word of encouragement to settle her down. And Chevalier pops that one up. That one's going to go off the protective netting as well. And so Chevalier staying alive here, working the count in this at-bat.
Jakosh trying something different with a little bit of the off-speed pitches there.
Full count. Here's a 3-2. And right up the middle for a base hit. And will they bring the runner around? Indeed, yeah, the ball's mishandled out in center field. And so the Spartans get another run as Caroline Watson came across. We must have missed a pinch runner at some point. Watson crosses the plate to make it 4-0.
That base hit and 1 base error could be costly. Cost Ursuline another run for Tampa there. Could have been a closer play at the plate had it been handled cleanly.
This is Kate DeSimone up to bat for UT. She played in 12 games last year, only had 13 at-bats, 154 batting average. She did have a home run and 5 RBI. And Jakosh dealing quickly now, very short time in between pitches.
It seems she's trying out different strategies, trying to figure out what may work here.
Yeah, perhaps trying to throw off DeSimone's timing.
Yeah, definitely keep the Spartans on their toes as they have been taking control of this game early on, trying to wrestle back some control, push them on their heels a little bit if possible.
And DeSimone sends that one a base hit out to center field. And around to score comes Lexi Chevalier. And UT really pouring it on now here in the bottom of the first on that RBI single by Kate DeSimone.
She stayed disciplined. Ensured that she pulled that one straight up the middle. Excellent contact there.
And UT going through the entire batting order now as it's the number 9 hitter, Steph Ballmer. And I think if you would have told Spartans head coach Leslie Cantor before the game started, bottom of the first, all 9 batters are going to see the plate, she'd say, I love it, let's do it.
No better way to start the season than like this for the Tampa Spartans.
Strike there to Ballmer. It's 1-1. 2 outs in the bottom of the first. A 5-0 lead already for the home team as that one's popped up and missed.
Always difficult to track those ones behind home plate. Catcher gets spun around, trying to get the gear off.
Yeah, and you can see that she's also right where there's some sun and some shade.
Definitely hoping that the third baseman can come in, take some control, and has a better angle, trying to find that ball in the sun.
And Ballmer chops that one to third, over to first, and they do get out number 3, but not before the damage is done. The Spartans, a big half inning to start the game. They get 5 runs on 6 hits. There was 1 Ursuline error, and we are through 1 complete with UT in the lead 5-0, and we'll be back on TampaSpartans.tv.
I am an NCAA student athlete.
And I pledge to be a champion of unity
on my team, on my campus, and in my community.
I pledge to embrace differences and strive for inclusion and collaboration.
I pledge to stand against racism, hate, and discrimination.
I pledge to strive for love, care, and forgiveness.
I pledge to stand against silence, deceit, and obscurity.
I pledge to strive for dialogue, truth, and understanding.
I pledge to stand against fear and doubt.
I pledge to strive for trust and belief in one another.
I pledge to stand against complacency and stagnancy.
I pledge to strive for change and growth.
I commit to supporting my fellow student athletes in all circumstances that impact them.
I commit to both choosing unity personally and encouraging it for all.
I pledge these things because we are stronger together.
United as one.
Back here to start, believe it or not, only the top of the second after a very explosive bottom of the first. And all of a sudden, just like that, Chris, this game a totally different complexion for Ursuline because all of a sudden they need to put on their hitting shoes and do so right away. There's still 6 more innings to play, but now you're behind 5-0, and you need to find some offense and find it fast.
Yeah, this is definitely an opportunity for Ursuline to answer. Normally in a situation like this, you can ideally get at least a run, if not more, to respond and keep your confidence up for the rest of the game.
And starting things off, Kristen Kopp, base hit there for the Arrows.
And that's exactly what you want to do. Give the players a chance to look at this as an offensive game all around from both teams rather than start to lose some confidence and feel as though Tampa may overmatch them with their defense as well. Keep their heads high and maybe make something happen with some base running and keep Tampa on their toes.
Yeah, normally, especially the first game of the season, a team that you don't face routinely, team that in this case you haven't seen in a year, you know, there's some feeling out that goes on the first inning or two or so, and all of a sudden Tampa breaks it open with 5 runs, and Ursuline says, okay, the game has totally changed. Let's get to work. And they're fortunate enough to get their first hitter of the inning on base. As you see, a foul ball there. As batting now is Hannah Jones. Hannah Jones, the third base player for the Arrows, and sends that one the other way and not able to make a play there for UT. It was Cameron Wininger.
Great effort by Wininger there, laying out for that ball. She had gotten jammed, Jones.
Mary Beth Feldman, 1-2 on the way. And Chevalier snags that one as the count goes even. And quickly with the next pitch, which is outside, and the count goes full.
This is a key inning for both teams. Chance for Ursuline to keep this game a matchup, and a chance for Tampa to try to shut it down.
Wow. And a strikeout there, and I think Hannah Jones wanted to question the umpire's call there and thought I need to see this umpire the rest of my at-bats, not to mention the second game, which brings up the discussion, Chris, about there is a second game to play today. And all of a sudden you put up 5 runs in the bottom of the first. You say, let's make sure we're going to have enough offense to get us through the rest of this game if we need it, not to mention that we're not going to leave everything on the field in game 1 and have nothing left for game 2.
Yeah, definitely. As well, on the flip side for Ursuline, they don't want to give up on this or anything or shoot in, but definitely looking at that second game as a chance to rebound if possible.
And you see a swing and a miss there.
Off-speed pitch header out in front.
Horgan. This is the number 7 hitter in the Ursuline order. And that one just outside enough for a ball. 2-1 the count on Horgan, sophomore from Surprise, Arizona. And now the count goes even as she looks down the third base line at her coach. One more practice swing and back into the batter's box here to face Feldman with one of her teammates down at first base, hoping to advance her. And that's going to be ball 3. Nice job working this at bat. (3-2) swings and a foul tip back to the screen. Real good job by her to stay alive in this at bat, because every at bat's going to be so crucial now. If they're going to chip away and get themselves back in the game, you don't want to all of a sudden start racking up out after out, inning after inning, and now your back is really to the wall. Stays alive. Foul ball down the third base line.
There's some good discipline here by Jones, keeping this at bat alive. While Feldman, you can see she's trying to attack, trying to almost pitch offensively if possible, and back up Ursuline against a wall. But here we see Jones doing a solid job of keeping this even, working the count.
And swing and a miss. Feldman finally completes the strikeout there and has a quick word as she heads back to the dugout. As Madison Jakosh, the catcher, coming up to bat with 2 outs, and still Kristen Kopp standing over at first base. Feldman looking into Chevalier. And the 1-0 on the way, swing and a miss. Madison Jakosh, a senior, batting here in the top of the second. Follows that one back. And how deflating this would be, Chris, if they start off the inning by getting the leadoff hitter on and then do nothing with it.
Yeah, you would think that that leadoff hit might have incited the bench and the rest of the lineup to come out and get on the attack, but we see Feldman settling into a groove here.
And that one foul into the screen just below our broadcast location.
Plenty of foul balls here, foul back into the screen. That just goes to show Feldman has got some power behind these pitches, keeping the speed high, keeping the swings late. One off-speed pitch.
Wow. Jakosh goes down as a strikeout victim, and the Spartans give up the hit, and then they close out Ursuline the rest of the way. And so through 1.5, the Spartans in the driver's back here to start the bottom of the second. Spartans in the lead 5-0. This is game 1 of a season opening doubleheader. Spartans and Arrows going at it. The second game of this doubleheader will start 20 minutes after the completion of game 1. Lorne Fantone, the Spartans' leadoff hitter, is the leadoff hitter here in inning number 2 because, Chris, as we mentioned, the Spartans went through their entire batting order in the first inning.
Yeah, definitely went on the attack in the first inning, which is, again, a great way that you want to start off this season with some power.
So do the math. Obviously, that means they had 6 hits and then 3 outs is how they got through all 9 batters. And so Fantone is 1 for 1, having singled to start off the game, and now another single for her to start off this second inning.
Pulled a breaking ball off her hands there, punched that one into center field.
Fantone last year had hit a very impressive .314, playing in 51 games. I should say playing in all 51 games because UT was 38-13 last year. So she appeared in every game for UT in 2022 and starts off 2023 2 for 2 thus far.
And Keister here now, who's also hit .326, and that's what you want to see from the Spartans. Just you want to have players who are able to hit the ball with some solid contact and not focus so much on power, trying to knock the ball over the fence every time and potentially whiffing. Just keeping the defense on their heels, keep putting it in play, and working that pitch count if you can possibly do that to the starter.
And Keister got the lion's share of the work last year, played in 41 of the 51 games, and as Chris mentioned, a great .326 average. And here she is on opening day of the 2023 season. And she singled in the bottom of the first. And right now, behind in the count 1-2. And the next pitch from Kelsey Jakosh outside for ball 2. Jakosh 2-2 on the way. And ball 3. And let's see how Keister fares here in this full count. Starts off with a little bit of a, see that followed up, a little bit of an open stance.
Fantone not going here. Full count but no outs and up 5-0 on first base.
And Keister chops that one to third, over to first in plenty of time. So fielder's choice there as Fantone advances to second. And that'll bring up Alexa Russo. Alexa Russo, another one of the 6 who had a hit in inning number 1. And that one gets away from Madison Jakosh. And so over to third goes Lauren Fantone.
Now you got a runner at third, only 1 out. A fly ball could bring her in.
Russo singled to right field in the top of the first and sends one to left center. That's going to be caught. And will we have a play at the plate? No. Fantone scores with relative ease, and the Spartans add to the lead. It's now 6-0. Although 2 away, which is a lot sooner than they got the second out in the bottom of the first.
Yeah, definitely. Hit that ball just deep enough to make the throw difficult, to be on the money at the plate and make a potential play, turn 2, and get another run in.
But even something like getting the second out sooner, and there's one that's going to be dropping for a base hit. And so the Spartans keep the inning alive. I was saying that those small little moral victories are things that Ursuline has to look for to keep their confidence up as they try to work towards keeping the Spartans from scoring further and then getting themselves back into the game offensively. And so Caroline Watson on first base, as you saw her with the single to left center.
Ursuline, of course, here can play the long game, being that it's a doubleheader.
And the 1-1, that's going to be another base hit up the middle, and the Spartans now with runners on first and second, and they have really brought the offense this afternoon.
Spartans are doing a great job of hitting the ball just in the nick of time, not too late, not too early, which is why you see a lot of hard ground balls and line drives to center field. Exactly what they want to go for here.
Mariah Galehouse stepping into the batter's box.
You can see the second base player and the shortstop playing far off second base, not holding the runner on, creating a lot of space for drives up the middle.
And that one swung on and popped up, and that will go off the screen and not playable by Jakosh. And so Mariah Galehouse now with a 1-1 count. 2 outs, runners on first and second. Her team is up 6-0, and they have 9 hits already. And make that 10 as Galehouse lashes that one to left field. And the bases will be full. Hold on, we may have a play at the plate coming, and we do. And there is going to be an out as sliding in was Caroline Watson. And coming in to make the tag was the pitcher Kelsey Jakosh. But not before UT gets another run up on the board. We are through 2 complete, and the Spartans in the lead 6-0. We'll be back on TampaSpartans.tv.
Being a champion takes more than skill, more than endless drills, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the heart to give it your all, the agility to thrive from any angle, and the relentless drive to be the best. Welcome to Division 2, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
What do you get when you take your favorite food and stuff it inside a pocket of homemade dough? Cooked perfectly until golden brown. It's a mouth-watering empanada from Mr. Empanada. No one makes a better empanada. Take Ted Webb's word for it.
Almost as good as my mom used to make.
Check out our website for a location near you, MrEmpanada.com.
It's not about any one thing.
And we're back at the Nemoli Family Stadium. I'm Bruce Wozniak, joined by Chris LaCastro. And a good start here so far to the season opener as UT is in the lead 6-0. 10 hits up on the board already. And the top of the third starts off with the Ursuline left fielder, Danielle Hoffman, and it's fouled back. way, way up in the air. And, wow, caught and going to the ground was Steph Ballmer. And able to squeeze the glove long enough. It was one of those where you watch her go to the ground and hope that the ball's not going to pop out of the glove.
Yeah, that was a nice job tracking that ball. I think she was anticipating the change from the dirt into the grass, which tripped her up a little bit, but she was able to hang on.
And a strike to Giovanna Herrera, the Arrows center fielder. Herrera is Ursuline's leadoff hitter. She is 0 for 1, having flown out to left field back in the first inning. As you see the next pitch there, ball 2. And fouls that one back. And Herrera 2 for 5 in the 2 games combined yesterday. That doubleheader that they lost to Eckerd. Feldman now settles in with a sign from Chevalier. Swing and a miss. And down goes Herrera. Another strikeout for Mary Beth Feldman.
Solid rising fastball there.
That brings up Casey Barton, and she fouls that one off. Mary Beth Feldman with 5 strikeouts already through 2 2/3.
42 pitches. Looking to escape this inning.
Fouls that one back. Chris, I feel like in games like this, when one team has so much offense going, it's real easy to overlook things like good defense and something like 5 strikeouts by your starting pitcher.
Yes, definitely. It's something to appreciate all around when your team is able to just come out full force on both offensively and defensively. We even saw that diving play earlier by the second base player that just kept the ball going by.
And Feldman now 1 strike away from closing out this top of the 3rd. And foul that came back up into the face mask of Casey Barton.
It appeared that the batter fouled that one almost into her own chest, potentially. I'm not sure if it connected with her bat or...
Yeah, it looked like the mouth guard across the bottom of her batting helmet. Fortunately, she's all right. And Barton, wow, go down as the 6th strikeout victim of the game for Mary Beth Feldman. A very quick 1-2-3 inning for the Arrows in the top of the 3rd. So the score is 6-0 through 2.5. We'll be back with more on TampaSpartans.tv.
Champions know how to seize opportunities. When they see moments of greatness unfold right before their eyes, they push as hard as they possibly can, and then they push harder. Because the heart of a champion never settles, never quits, and never stops giving its all. We are champions. We are Division II. We go big, we give it everything we've got, and we win. On the field, on our campuses, in our communities, for our causes, in our careers. We rise to become champions in everything we do. We are Division II, and there are no limits here. We make our time count. We set our own path, we become champions on our terms. It's time to up your game because we're here to play and learn. But most importantly, we're here to discover ourselves, our vision, our heart, our drive to achieve every goal we aim for because we want to be champions at the highest level, life. At Division II, the opportunities are here. Are you ready?
Being a champion takes more than skill, more than endless drills, more than using your head. Being a
And we're back here at the Namoli Family Stadium. Spartans in the lead 6-0, and we have a change for the Arrows.
Casey Barton coming in.
So Casey Barton, now the pitcher, and sends in her first offering. Batter is Lexi Chevalier. That's ball one. And Casey Barton looking over at her dugout, checks her wristband, which is actually up on her bicep. And Chevalier sends that one foul down the left field line. Chevalier, the number 7 hitter in the UT lineup. She had an RBI single in the first inning.
And scored later.
Casey Barton pitched a third of an inning in yesterday's action against Eckerd. And now here she is taking over in the bottom of the third in game one of today's doubleheader from Kelsey Jakosh.
Just inside. Three and one count.
And the 3-1 on the way, swung on, and that's going to be a fair ball all the way down the left field line to the outfield wall. Chevalier heads to second and is going to go for 3 and is safe. Close play at third. And Lexi Chevalier with a triple to start things off for the Spartans in the bottom of the third.
That's some real speed right there, getting to third base on a drive. Hard ground ball into the left field corner and still being able to beat it out on the one-hop throw.
And that'll bring up Kate DeSimone. And she had an RBI single in the first inning. Has an opportunity for another RBI now with Chevalier over at third base. And this time, of course, DeSimone facing a different pitcher. Casey Barton deals from the circle in the dirt there. And Barton looks over into the dugout and gets ready with the 1-1. It's on the way. And DeSimone sends that one to a spot in left center that's going to allow Lexi Chevalier to cross the plate, and she will wind up at second base. So an RBI double for Kate DeSimone as the Spartans score for the third consecutive inning. The lead now goes to 7-0. And the number 9 hitter, Steph Ballmer.
Showed some great speed there as well, stretching into a double. Would have taken a perfect throw to get her at second, despite the ball only reaching shallow left center field.
Yeah, a great all-around play because Kate DeSimone found just the spot shallow left center where she dropped that one in. And then, as you mentioned, Chris, showing good speed to slide in for a double. And so Steph Ballmer, who's 0 for 1, she is the last remaining Spartans player in search of a hit in this game. And will that be it? Oh, a collision. And the Arrows able to retire Ballmer. And a dangerous play there. It's not been the best game so far for Ursuline physically. Not only that collision, but we also saw the batted ball that went back up in the face mask of the batter in the top half of this inning. And are we getting a change already? Indeed. Kylie Seawick is going to come in to hit for Lauren Fantone here in the bottom of the third. And last year, Seawick played in just 7 games and had only 2 at-bats. She did score a run, and here she is batting in the bottom of the third with her team holding a big 7-0 lead. 12 hits for UT thus far. And the 1-0 on the way to her. And that's going to get through. And Kate DeSimone advances to third. And guess what? Kylie Seawick into second base. And Chris, this is a case of when the ball is bouncing your way, the UT is just finding all of the openings out there.
They are. That ball just escaped under the glove. It was hard hit and had a short hop coming up on it as well to the shortstop. UT has just really been driving these balls up the middle, using that outfield grass to their advantage, keeping these balls in play, and that's what you got to do here.
And if you're Ursuline, that really has to sting because you're already behind 7-0, and to just watch, as you said, batted ball after batted ball, just finding the right opening, and you see them having their conference out there. It's really tough to rally in this case, and this is where you pull out all the sports psychology and say, we got to find something here that's going to keep us in this thing and not get our spirits down.
Yes, definitely. They're looking to get in and out of these defensive innings as quickly as possible. It definitely has a mental effect when you're focused on trying to perform offensively, trying to bring the score back within range, but then you keep getting sent back on your heels when you're still on defense.
And the batter now for the Spartans is Devin Hammonds. As head coach Leslie Cantor going to her bench early here. And of course, Chris, this could be a case of she's going to her bench early, maybe not so much because of the 7-0 lead, but because of the fact that there's another game to be played today.
Yes, definitely. Keeping timing in mind and not trying to tire out your players, ensuring that they're fresh and ready to go for the next game as well, is important on a day like this. Took that one just high.
And Hammonds and her Spartans teammates, huge opportunity here to absolutely put this out of reach with 2 runners in scoring position and only 1 out. Their team up by a touchdown. And that one's way up high. As you see Jakosh pull that one down. 3-1 count now here to Devin Hammonds.
Barnes keeping the ball high here. Have to wonder if she's concerned that Hammonds might use some power to drive anything that might fall low.
Ground ball, and they'll play it at home, and safe. The umpire right there to call Kate DeSimone for what will be the 8th Spartans run of the game. So Devin Hammonds, who had appeared in 17 games for the Spartans last year, although she did only have 8 at-bats. She is aboard, and UT with runners on the corners now. Herself at first, and then Kylie Seawick over at third.
That was a great slide into the plate, pulling her body away from it and just getting her fingers in there to try to avoid the catcher as much as possible.
Alexa Russo up to bat for the Spartans right now.
Russo's 1 for 1 today, playing second base.
And let's see if she can get a ball to left field in this one. She singled to right in the first. She flew out to center in the second. I see a pattern. She's working right to left. And now the next pitch. And that one's going to be played nicely short over to first. And they go home to try to get a double play unsuccessfully, as crossing the plate was Kylie Seawick. And Casey Barton almost able to induce an inning-ending double play there. But nonetheless, there are 2 outs in the bottom of the third. And Caroline Watson up to bat for the Spartans. I want to correct myself. Earlier in the game, I said that we might have missed a pinch runner. No, it was Bruce missing Watson being the batter. The flurry of offensive activity that we had in that 5-run Spartans first inning, as you see a line out there by Watson to end the bottom of the third, but not before UT finds more offense, and so we are through 3 complete, and the Spartans fully in control here, and we'll be back with more on TampaSpartans.tv.
Champions know how to seize opportunities. When they see moments of greatness unfold right before their eyes, they push as hard as they possibly can, and then they push harder. Because the heart of a champion never settles, never quits, and never stops giving its all. We are champions. We are Division II. We go big, we give it everything we've got, and we win. On the field, on our campuses, in our communities, for our causes, in our careers. We rise to become champions in everything we do. We are Division II, and there are no limits here. We make our time count. We set our own path. We become champions on our terms. It's time to up your game, because we're here to play and learn. But most importantly, we're here to discover ourselves, our vision, our heart, our drive, to achieve every goal we aim for, because we want to be champions at the highest level, life. At Division II, the opportunities are here. Are you ready?
Back here at the Namoli Family Stadium, UT in the lead 9-0, and they have out-hit Ursuline 13-2. As we get set here for the top of the 4th, and leading things off for the Arrows is second base player Tara Backherms. And Backherms 0 for 1. She flew out to left back in the first inning. The Spartans have changed pitchers, and this is Gwen McGinnis. And again, Chris, this could be what we talked about of Leslie Cantor kind of looking at, we have a second game to play today. Let's keep everybody kind of fresh. Let's avoid injury. Let's let's not tax the arm of our pitchers. It's a long season. I think all those things are already being implemented here, even though it's the first game of the season.
Yes, definitely important to rotate the players in and out, keep them fresh, ensure that they're going to be ready, not just for the following game of the doubleheader, but the whole season up ahead, especially in a game like this, off to an excellent start. Don't want to get too ahead of yourself.
And in this particular case, I think you look at someone like Gwen McGinnis being a freshman, and you say, okay, here's an opportunity for us to give a freshman an opportunity to get into her first college game, and there's a lot less pressure with her team already in a 9-0 lead, that there's a little bit of room for rookie errors, if you will.
Yeah, it's definitely an opportunity for McGinnis to show off some of her skill sets to her coach as she gets the strikeout there. First career strikeout for McGinnis, and show why she earned the spot onto this team and looks forward to some progress in the next couple of years in her tenure with Tampa.
Yeah, that'll be a memorable first career at bat for her from the pitching circle. As you see her induce a swinging strike there. So a nice start here for Gwen McGinnis early on, coming down from the state capitol up in Tallahassee. And a pop-up there, and that one's going to go off the screen. And this is Christina Dalton, by the way, the batter for Ursuline, the visitors' shortstop. She struck out back in the first and pops that one up in play, and that'll be caught routinely by Steph Ballmer for out number 2. And you see Alexa Russo having some fun with the rookie pitcher, McGinnis. And we don't want to get too ahead of ourselves. It is only 2 batters. Don't want to exaggerate too much, but a nice little start here for Gwen McGinnis. As now there's a ball sent to left field and caught nicely for out number 3.
1-2-3 inning for McGinnis.
That was Kristen Kopp, who's from right here in Tampa. That was out number 3 for Ursuline in the top of the 4th. So the score holds at 9-0 Spartans, and we'll be back with more on TampaSpartans.tv.
It's not about any one thing. It's about how everything comes together, how it all connects. People, ideas, resources, community, everything. Quality of life services. That's what we do. Sodexo.
College sports.
There's light at the end of the tunnel.
A return to normal, and all we love about sports.
You've instilled resilience, focus, and selflessness in us. We've put those lessons to work.
We've found strength and unity in each other.
You continue to take us places we never imagined.
You bring out the best in us.
So when we look forward, we see the light at the end of the tunnel.
We see a better world for all of us. And for college sports.
Back here at the Namoli Family Stadium in what is Game 1 of a scheduled season-opening doubleheader. UT getting their 2023 season underway. Ursuline, who started play yesterday with a doubleheader loss over across the bridge in St. Pete against Eckerd College. And so far today, this one has been all the home team as the Spartans come up to bat in the bottom of the 4th, leading 9-0. And Casey Barton with the first pitch of the bottom of the 4th to the batter, Cameron Winninger. Cameron Winninger, I mentioned earlier, from just nearby in Plant City. Lakeland Christian School before coming on board as a transfer student here to UT.
So on the attack with that pitch, a little out in front, but definitely had some power behind it.
Winninger behind in the count, 0-2 here. And the next pitch from Barton, and look out, that one hit Winninger, and she will go to first base. Winninger
okay.
had been 1 for 2 in this game. And we had a lineup change defensively in the bottom of the third, and we'll see that now offensively as Mackenzie Allen into bat for UT here in the bottom of the fourth.
Homegrown from Tampa. Went to Wharton High School.
And the first pitch to her is outside for a ball.
Allen hit .222 last year, hoping to bring that average up this year, but had a .317 on base percentage, meaning that she likely has a good eye at the plate, able to walk and get herself on base.
She played in 35 games for UT in 2022.
And 36 at-bats, likely a routine pinch hitter type in potentially key situations.
Allen now a grad student. Another year in the Spartan uniform, and gets on to short, and a close play at first. They're going to call her safe. And in the process, of course, she advances Cameron Winninger to second. And so the Spartans really came with their hitting shoes on for this first game of this doubleheader, as we're going to see yet another lineup change here for the Spartans, as instead of Lexi Chevalier, we're going to see Ashley Manti, another freshman and a local product. Played her high school ball at Steinbrenner High School, and her first collegiate at-bat in her team's first game of the season. Strike one to her. And you see another check of the armband, I'll call it, instead of the wristband. Casey Barton throws that one outside for a ball. So Manti, the pinch hitter, swings, gets underneath it, drives it to left field, and missed out there by Danielle Hoffman, and coming around to score is Cameron Winninger. And Chris, a curious play out there by Hoffman. She was tracking the ball and then took a minute to take her visor off of her head, and I think that extra second of making that move resulted in not being able to play the ball in time.
Yeah, it appeared that Hoffman might have been distracted by the sun, which is why I'm wondering why she knocked that visor off, because initially she took an awkward angle to the ball before retreating then, and it just got over her head. So you have to wonder if the sun was at play there.
So that'll bring up Kate DeSimone. And UT now up 10-0.
And then also, of course, just in a game like this, down 10-0 and a ball comes to you, you just can't help but get shaken up by it. Definitely in your head a little bit about these mental plays rather than just settling into a physical groove of tracking those down.
So UT has now scored at least one run in all 4 innings. And do not adjust your sets. Yes, they do have 15 hits in this game. Just 2 for the visitors. Kate DeSimone has a single and a double so far in this game. She has 2 RBI.
And another key statistic here for the Spartans is 0 strikeouts on offense today. Putting the ball in play with every batter, and that's a vital stat that you'd love to see continue throughout the season.
Next pitch on the way from Barton. DeSimone ahead in the count. And good patience there by DeSimone as she draws ball 4. And so the base is loaded as things going potentially from bad to worse here because there are no outs in the bottom of the 4th where the Spartans have not only already put up a run but have runners on all 3 bases. And we're going to see another pitching change as you see the coach take the ball away from Casey Barton. And we're going to get Kathleen Wack. We don't have the player heights listed on here. We may have to look it up on their website, but Kathleen Wack looks like she will tower over every other player on the field. A very tall athlete stepping into the pitching circle. And Ursuline trying to find something that will quiet the Spartans' bats.
Yes, Wack, the only player out of New Jersey on this roster as well as on this team. And, yeah, definitely just looking for some kind of new energy, something to keep Ursuline and their heads still in this game without falling too far.
And Wack is a freshman. Did not see action in yesterday's 2 games against Eckerd.
And if I'm the coach here and I'm bringing in Wack, I'm telling her just keep the ball down, keep the ball in, throw strikes, make them put the ball in play, and try to work through this game without walking too many players or letting this get out of hand or keeping it in your own control.
And similar to what we're seeing with Leslie Cantor, by inserting Gwen McGinnis, this is a case of where you say, okay, this is a freshman. I guess we might as well give her first collegiate experience. We're already losing 10-0, and we got to shake things up somehow, even if it is putting someone who hasn't played college softball yet.
It's a great opportunity for the beginning of their experience here in college softball. A spot to try things out, put in your best effort, try to make some progress, but not too much pressure or a high-stress situation such as a tie game or later innings or anything along those lines.
So Steph Ballmer ready to bat for the Spartans.
Ballmer in her 3rd at-bat, looking for her first hit of the game.
We've seen her with some putouts from the shortstop position. And there's ball 1 to her on the first pitch from Kathleen Wack. And now the 1-0 right down the line for strike 1. Wack gets a sign from Madison Jakosh. It's popped up by Ballmer and caught for the first out of inning number 4. And one of the only players that you can say it's been a tough afternoon for. wearing a Spartans uniform is Ballmer now all for 0 for 3.
Yeah, that definitely has to be a bit of a source of frustration in a game like this. You want to add your own numbers into this game, but there's still another one to play, so plenty of opportunity awaits.
Top of the order, Kylie Seawick. Seawick 1 for 1 in this game with a single in the third. And the next pitch from Whack and finds them hole. And the Spartans will get 2 more runs. And a well-struck ball by Seawick to find the opening for her second hit of the game. And the Spartans lead balloons to 12-0.
Well, Seawick proven why. She was given the opportunity to bat leadoff, 2 base hits today, scored once, now a couple of RBIs, just using that whole field to her advantage here.
And as much as you marvel at the offensive output of Tampa, keep in mind that Ursuline was really hammered in both games by Eckerd yesterday. They've given up far too many runs here in their first 2.5 games of the 2023 season. And need to get things turned around quickly. There's another game still here to be played today.
And you wonder if, because there's only a 20-minute break between the 2 games, there might not be much of an opportunity. But after these games today, maybe they start to make some pitching adjustments, go into different sorts of training for the future, because that clearly seems to be their source of weakness today, as that ball skips to the backstop.
And in the process, Spartans will see Kylie Seawick advance to second. So 2 runners in scoring position now and only 1 out in the bottom of the 4th, as Devin Hammonds awaits the next pitch from Kathleen Whack. There it is, swings at it, and Whack over to first, and that'll be out number 2. And Whack, you saw her quickly check the runner, Kate DeSimone, over at third. And instead of Alexa Russo, we're going to see Abigail Siegel. And make no mistake, the Alexa Russos, the Lexi Chevaliers, the Lauren Fantones, we'll see all of them back in their normal spot in the batting order to start the second game of the doubleheader. I'm sure where things go from there, we shall see. But for the time being, Alexa Russo is done for the day in this game, as Abigail Siegel is going to get her first action of the 2023 season. Last year she played in 29 games, and must be her lucky number. She also had 29 at-bats. Hit .276, no runs, 5 RBI. And here she is, a 1-0 pitch coming to her from Kathleen Whack, and looks at it for ball 2. Now Whack sends the 2-0 and swing and a miss by Siegel.
Yeah, Tampa's certainly not looking to walk here. Just go out, try to put the ball in play, keep some offense going when the game's so out of hand like this that it's an opportunity to just keep the offense firing away. That ball skips away as well.
This time the runners hold. We saw that play earlier in the game where Spartans tried to capitalize on a similar miscue, and there was an out at the plate.
Have to wonder if there might be some kind of miscommunication between the catcher and the pitcher on these throwouts.
fouled off. Count goes full. Kylie Seawick looks down the third base line at her coach Leslie Cantor. And Whack, looking into her dugout, now checks her wristband. And the 3-2 on the way, swung on and missed. That one gets through past Christina Dalton, and the Spartans get 2 more runs as going into third base as Abigail Siegel, Kate DeSimone, and Kylie Seawick both crossing the plate.
That's a tough one.
The Buccaneers, the Spartans, go up 14-0.
That's
Tampa
a tough one.
really pouring it on here. Yeah, that's a real tough one because it looked like it was going to be a routine play at shortstop for Christina Dalton. And Chris, as you were pointing out earlier, with the miscue, when we saw the left fielder take off her visor, it could get a little mental where it starts to play psychological games with you, and even something that you've been doing for several years in your softball career all of a sudden becomes not so routine, and that's what it leads to. As you see, hit batsman Caroline Watson goes to first base.
Yeah, you have to wonder, as you were just saying, about just a mental game here on these hard ground balls and fly balls, skip through the legs, something just keeping the glove down in the dirt to try to protect that.
So Caroline Watson at first after the hit by pitch, and we thought we were going to see Cameron Winninger, who ironically had been hit by pitch in her last plate appearance, but instead another change as Kaylee Ellsworth up to bat for the Spartans. Yet another pinch hitter as that one goes outside for ball 1. 2 outs in the bottom of the 4th. And the Spartans have put up 5 runs this inning, just as they did back on the bottom of the 1st. A 14-0 lead on 16 hits, and Whack throws that one to first. But Whack, a tough inning for her and her Arrows teammates, as the Spartans put up 5 more runs. They now lead 14-0 and have out-hit Ursuline 16-2. And we'll be back with more Tampa Spartans softball right here from the Namoli Family Stadium on TampaSpartans.tv.
Number 32, Kyle Hornsby.
Inside the 30, touchdown. Michaela Burgess. An incredible finish by Hall.
The NCAA and its member schools offer nearly 500,000 college athletes a path to go pro in something other than sports. Learn more at ncaa.org/opportunity.
College sports.
There's light at the end of the tunnel.
A return to normal, and all we love about sports.
You've instilled resilience, focus, and selflessness in us. We've put those lessons to work.
We've found strength and unity in each other.
You continue to take us places we never imagined.
You bring out the best in us.
So when we look forward, we see the light at the end of the tunnel.
We see a better world for all of us and for college sports.
This is the University of Tampa. Explore your dreams. Discover your talents. Get ready to invent, innovate, and be a leader. This is the University of Tampa.
Back live at the Namoli Family Stadium on the grounds of the University of Tampa campus, the season opener for the Spartans, and they are in the driver's seat here, leading 14-0 as we go into the top of the 5th. And Ursuline starting things off with Hannah Jones, the third base player. Jones struck out looking back in the second. And the 0-1 on the way to her. Swing and a miss. And keep in mind, this is Gwen McGinnis, who's now pitching for the Spartans. We saw her take over to start the last inning as there's a grounder and nice play there. Sent over to Kate DeSimone just in time for the first out.
Great short hop handling by Siegel there. Keeping the ball snow cone in the glove, firing over to first. That's something you definitely practice in the off season and then hope to see it translate onto the field during the games.
Well, and again, we talked before about how all of a sudden great pitching gets overlooked because you get so distracted by all the offense, and there's a great defensive play there.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be important going into the rest of the season. They say defense wins championships.
Well, and if you're head coach Leslie Cantor, you love seeing that kind of play because it would be so easy in a game like this to kind of let your guard down and say, oh, well, I missed it. She ran it out. Make all the excuses in the world, but instead you show your coach, I'm still going to go just as hard defensively when my team is up 14-0 as if we were up 4-0 or if we were up 1-0. Foul tip, back to the screen. Josephine Horgan, the batter, designated player for Ursuline. And she's behind in the count 0-2. As you see, McGinnis waiting for the sign. And there's going to be the strikeout. Caroline Watson behind the plate for UT. And 2 away in the top of the 5th for the Arrows. As Gwen McGinnis got to really be feeling herself here with this impressive first 5 batters.
And that's 8 strikeouts by the Tampa pitching staff today. Those are great numbers for this game.
This is Madison Jakosh, the Arrows catcher. Next pitch to her, and a routine out there as you see Kate DeSimone. And quickly, the Arrows 1-2-3 in the top of the 5th. So just like that, we will go back to the Spartans offense when we return on TampaSpartans.tv.
Number 32, Kyle Hornsby.
Inside the 30. Touchdown. Michaela Burgess. An incredible finish by Hall.
The NCAA and its member schools offer nearly 500,000 college athletes a path to go pro in something other than sports. Learn more at ncaa.org/opportunity.
What do you get when you take your favorite food and stuff it inside a pocket of homemade dough? Cooked perfectly until golden brown. It's a mouth-watering empanada from Mr. Empanada. No one makes a better empanada. Take Ted Webb's word for it.
Almost as good as my mom used to make.
Check out our website for a location near you, MrEmpanada.com.
It's not about any one thing. It's about how everything comes together, how it all connects. People.
And we're back here, and it has been ruled a completed game by the run-ahead rule. 8 runs after 5 innings. The Spartans obliterated that, 14. So it'll be deemed a complete game by way of the run-ahead rule, as the Spartans need only 4.5 innings to defeat Ursuline 14-0 in Game 1 of this doubleheader and out-hit them 16-2.
Yeah, 16-2, no runs. Pitching looked dominant. Offense looked even better than that. And another key point that we were talking about earlier that you definitely want to draw some attention to is the defense. We saw a couple of nice plays at second base, some diving plays. It was just an all-around game for the Spartans to make sure that they really come out firing for the beginning of this season. And if you're the head coach, you look at something like that and you say, everybody, that's what we want to see for the rest of the season every time you go out there.
But, Chris, what does this do, I wonder, for Ursuline? Because you have 2 games yesterday. You lose them both 9-1. Now you come out in this one and you lose 14-0, and now you have to forget all of that and come back out in 20 or so minutes and play another game against the Spartans.
It's definitely something that they just need to stop and reset mentally, get themselves back into this game, because unfortunately in these past few games for Ursuline, not only has their offense not been performing, but neither is the defense or the pitching. So it's something that they just need to go back to their practice roots from the off season, things that they worked on, different types of training that they went through, and reset their focus, completely forget about these games, and look into the future and say, hey, there's a long season ahead to be played.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, if you're the Ursuline coach, you got to dig deep into your book of sports psychology and find something that you can say that mentally is going to clear these blocks for these student athletes who obviously are fighting themselves at this point.
Yeah, that's definitely something that it gets more and more difficult for a coach to dive into something like that, dive into the psyche of these players and try to get them to reshift their focus, because you have to think that the coach has been talking to them throughout each of these games, trying to give them different pointers and advice to reshift their mindset, get them back into these games physically as well. And if it hasn't amounted to anything, you start to think about, what other strategies can I implement to help these players?
Well, we'll have to see what Danielle Largent pulls out of her bag of tricks. And if the Arrows can flip the script and get in the win column for the first time this season, we're going to take a break, and we'll be back in approximately 20 minutes. The Spartans win Game 1 of the doubleheader 14-0 as the Arrows fall to 0-3. I'm Bruce Wozniak. Chris LeCastro and I will be back for Game 2 of the Spartans-Arrows doubleheader here on TampaSpartans.tv.